What's up, everybody? Cigar Sherpa Laird Mayhew back with another cigar review, and today I've got the Camacho Candela in Robusto. Stay tuned.
I can smoke stogies in my house, first of all, because her father introduced me to stogies, and second of all, because I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone. I smoke my stogie anywhere I want. I don't have to find a hideout place like you.
All right. Welcome back to another installment here at Cigar Sherpa. I am, of course, your host, Laird Mayhew, and if this is your first time here, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, leave a comment, let us know what you think about it, and if this is not your first time here and you are a regular, as always, welcome back. All right, as my intro said, today I am changing it up here. Today, something a little different, something way out of my wheelhouse, and that is the Candela wrapper by Camacho. Okay, I have seen this cigar, I have passed by this cigar, I have picked it up a few times and just like, yeah, maybe I'll try it. I'm not a real big fan of the Candela wrapper. Matter of fact, the last time I smoked a Candela wrapper was probably about 20 years ago, and it was on top of a JR Ultimate house blend, and it was just really, really tasteless. Okay, if I remember, it had kind of a sweetness to this airy Dominican feel, just seco all the way, just very light, and just I didn't like it. But I have faith in Camacho. Okay, and the way I understand, I've looked up this cigar and I've talked to people that enjoy it. It's pretty much it is the Camacho Corojo, the one with the red band, with just a Candela wrapper. Okay, so it ain't gonna be so bland. A little bit on the Candela wrapper. This actually used to be the preferred, most sought-after wrapper in America on cigars. And a matter of fact, it's classified as an AMS, or it used to be. I haven't seen that lately. But it's an AMS wrapper, which stands for American Market Selection. Okay, and how it came to be was by an accident. It was a fluke. Cuban farmers in the 1940s, I believe, they were... I don't know. I guess there was like some excess humidity. They were trying something new. There was like the excess humidity. They were trying to cut down on that during the fermentation process. And they just heated it, the area, the barn, or wherever the hell they were doing. They just heated it too much. It was a little too hot. So I guess it locked in some of that chlorophyll, and it came out green. And rather than toss it out, it was a light-bodied smoke. They tried it out. They sent it to the United States, and it was a craze. Okay. Recent years, it's not so popular. I don't know why. But anyway, we're going to give this thing a cut and a light. Well, wait a minute. Let me tell you about the construction of it. So in typical Camacho form, it's like every Camacho, it's pretty soft and spongy almost. And apparently that used to be the standard for cigar construction, at least with the old Cuban cigars. It's got like a sweet, earthy, but at the same time, it's got like an herbal smell to it. And it's got a green wrapper, so it's going to have a little bit of herbalness to it. And it kind of does smell like green tea. Like when you get green tea before you steep it and smell it, especially on the outside. The inside's really sweet and earthy, and it actually smells really good. The construction on this thing is nice. I mean, the seams are visible but very tight. Very light vein, activity going on. Let's see if you can see that. Very nice color. I mean, it's green. And with St. Patrick's Day coming up, everybody's, you want to drink some green beer, maybe some green pancakes for breakfast. Why not smoke a green cigar? And it's got a triple cap on it. So let me give this thing a cut and a light, come back and tell you what I think about it. Stay tuned. All right. Right away, you do get hit with that grassy note. Okay, when I say grassy, I don't mean the typical you get with the Nicaraguan or Cuban cigars, that grassy hay. This is more like a green grass, like centipede grass or Bermuda grass, freshly cut, heat of the summer. It's got that sweet, grassy smell to it. And surprisingly, well, maybe not so surprisingly, because it is the Camacho Corojo, just with a Candela wrapper, you do get a good dose of pepper in the retrohale and some spice. Very light spice right now. It does have a sweetness to it that I'm starting to notice as the finish kind of fades away a little bit. and it starts to develop. The smoke is it's about a halfway creamy, maybe a little dry. It does have a herb. It has definitely got an herbal green tea-esque nuance to it. I mean, especially Chinese restaurant green tea. Sure, we've all been there. Feels very good. And again, this is the I don't know if I mentioned it. This is the Robusto, and it's a 5x50, classic Robusto size, one of my favorite sizes. It's got it's a Honduran Puro. I skipped all that because it's thrown me for a loop with this. The whole Candela thing's a little different. It's all Honduran Puro. It's got a Honduran, I'm going to guess a Corojo Candela wrapper, Honduran Corojo wrapper, and it's got, binder, and it's got the same Honduran fillers. And I tell you what, it's pretty good. A little sweet, a little herbal, or herbal, as my friends in Great Britain would say, because there's a fucking H in it, mate. Yeah, it's developing. Now the smoke's kind of getting creamy. The sweetness is kind of kicking up. So let me get into the first third, come back and tell you what I think about it from there. Stay tuned. All right. We have developed into the first third here, and we're about 10 minutes in. And, it's burning. It's not burning bad. It kind of bubbles up there right along the burn line, and you can almost see where the wrapper, before it burns, it turns brown, which is kind of cool. But I tell you what, this thing's got some bold flavors. It's medium-bodied, and it's a very light, light, medium strength, and very medium-bodied light cigar. But it's got some bold flavors to it. And what it reminds me of is the Ecuador Camacho, the one with the teal color. If you've smoked that one, it's got a very good cinnamon spice nuance. Okay, it's not very cinnamon. I say baker spice, but it's there. It's got a black pepper on the palate that lingers. It's a very long peppery finish, and the smoke got real creamy. Effortless draw. It's weird because it's a very light cigar and it's soft, but it's got a effortless draw. It's not like a lot of air. It's not like a hot draw or nothing like that, but effortless, and it's actually turned out to be really enjoyable. Actually, I'm surprised because I didn't think I was going to like it. It does have a sugary sweetness, and not a brown sugar. It's almost like a white sugary sweetness, like you would put in your coffee. What do they call that? Refined sugar. But it does maintain that vegetal or that herbal flavor to it, like a green tea, and that is there, and you're not getting away from that. But it's a sweet herbal flavor mixed in with that earthy spice. It's damn good. Let's let this thing develop into the second third. I'll come back and tell you what I think about it from there. Stay tuned. All right. We're in the second third here. Just probably about 3 minutes past where you got to take the band off. And you got to take the band off of Camacho cigars pretty soon because they're so long. But we're about 25 minutes in here, just about to the halfway point. And I have no transitions. It's just developed, okay? All the flavors from the first third are still there. They just kind of get more robust. Let me tell you something. This is not a light-bodied cigar by no means, and that's what you expect when you get a Candela wrapper. But I guess, again, knowing that they just wrapped the Camacho Corojo cigar with a Candela wrapper, it's not surprising that I'm getting them more on the north side of medium body, because it's got some complex flavors in there. That sugary sweetness is not going anywhere. If anything, it picks up, and it's almost so much on the palate you think you're smoking a sweet tip cigar. Okay, that's just me. I don't smoke a whole lot of cigars that are real sweet, so when I do get one, it's overly sweet to my palate, but I'm enjoying it. It's still got that green tea-esque herbal sense to it, and it's got a very good spice, heavy spice too, because it's in the back of my throat, it's on my palate. The retrohale, the black pepper on the retrohale kind of got real smooth, but very, very dense, creamy smoke. and it's sweet. Very enjoyable. I mean, I don't really get into what most people would call a yard gar or a yard cigar or teeth clenching cigar. Those are just like cheap garbage cigars. When I think about a yard cigar, it's something that I can smoke in the heat. Okay. Typically, if it's hot out or I'm at the beach and I'm drinking beer, it's not going to be a real I usually drink a Yingling beer. That's what I've been drinking here lately when I do drink beer. But in the summertime, I like to go light with like a Corona. This would match up perfectly in the heat of the summer, drinking a beer, hot outside, because of that sweet note to it. And it is light. It's medium bodied, but it's very light. It's hard to explain. You're going to have to smoke it for yourself. And let me tell you something. Camacho, if you don't know, Camacho used to be, in my opinion, a kind of a substandard cigar. No offense to the people that were making them, but back in the late 90s and early 2000s, I tried them. My dad bought me a bundle of them back from one of his trips, and I didn't like them. Okay, I just never paid attention to them. So when I kind of got back into the American cigar market, ceasing my work overseas and everything, I saw the new box and everything. But then I kind of started looking into it, and Davidoff actually bought the company, rebranded it, or bought the brand and they rebranded it and took over from there. And they are damn good cigars. I mean, they're premium cigars. The Camacho Ecuador is one of my favorite cigars. The Camacho Corojo, which this is with a Candela wrapper, as I said, is a damn good cigar. And they got the Nicaraguan Puro. I'm not a big fan of the American Barrel Age, only because I'm not a big fan of oaky flavors. But they're always, they're very consistent. I bought boxes of these things. Matter of fact, I bought my dad a box of the Ecuador Camachos, because he doesn't smoke cigars a lot. So every time I go to his office, I can reach in his humidor and grab one. I wanted one in there that I liked, and they were on sale. But they're very consistent in flavor. They're very consistent in construction. They're always soft, like spongy but dense cigar, and they're just always a pleasurable experience. So I'm gonna get into the final third on this. Come back and tell you what I think about it. But so far, I'm recommending, especially it's St. Patrick's Day is coming up. So if you're gonna get into the spirit of St. Patrick's Day, whether you're Irish or not. Definitely try this one out. You'll enjoy it. Stay tuned. All right. We're in the final third of this bad boy, and I'm about 35 minutes into this cigar. It's coming to an end. I still got about 10 minutes I can smoke on this thing, but I just got a phone call, got a client ready to sign a contract, write me a check, so I'm going to cut this thing short and go take care of that. But I'm going to tell you about this final third before I go. Very consistent flavors throughout this cigar, okay? Everything that I've said in the first and second third are still there. They just kind of ramp up. Okay. I did notice that here, getting a little shorter, the smoke starts to get a little bit of more warmth to it, that the sweetness kind of dials itself down in a more grassy note. When I say grassy, again, I mean like fresh clipped green grass of summer. But other than that, it's got that green tea-esque nuance throughout the whole cigar. I have made some notes here. It's got a sweet earthiness to it, spice, and a long peppery finish. Okay, your palate tingles in between draws, and it just kind of sits on there, almost halfway from the halfway point back. It starts to get like an oily finish. Okay, very pleasant cigar. As far as daily arsenal goes, I paid about $8 and some change for this, so it's at the top of the list, and definitely would include this in my daily arsenal. I don't know if I would smoke it every day because of that herbalness and that sweetness. It's just not something I'm accustomed to, but I really enjoyed it. It's a good change. So, St. Patty's Day coming up, like I said before, grab you a couple of these things to smoke because they're very enjoyable. It's a different approach to the ones that we normally review here that are normally, coffee-esque, with spicy cores and damp earth and hay and all that stuff. This is kind of like a refreshing take on a medium to full bodied cigar. Now, strength wise, this is not a light strength cigar. It starts off that way, but halfway through and as it develops, the strength picks up. It will smack you in the face. It's not what you expect with a Candela wrapper. It is medium. It's medium plus. I won't say medium to full. And it's got some very good complex flavors in there. Again, if you like the Corojo by Camacho, you're definitely going to like this little change of pace right here. So, Cigar Sherpa Laird Mayhew reminding you to be polite to everybody that you meet. But always have a backup plan in case you got to shoot him in the face. And I'm out.